The first update for WoW Dragonflight comes out the week of January 24th. So January 24th for NA and January 25th for EU. And in this video, I'll be going over everything that's coming in the brand new 10.0.5, the first update of WoW Dragonflight. So the first and probably the biggest new thing coming in patch 10.0.5 is going to be the trading post. Now, the trading post is going to be a location in Orgrimmar or Stormwind, allowing you to purchase a ton of consumables rotating on a monthly basis. These are going to be things you can't get anywhere else. Maybe it's some old Transmog, maybe it's some shop mounts, maybe it's some unique recolors of mounts or Transmog or other sets that aren't available in other places. To get here, as soon as you log in, you're going to get a quest summoning you to either Orgrimmar or Stormwind, and you're going to go to those respective cities. In Orgrimmar, the trading post is to the left of the Great Hold, right about here. And for the Alliance, you're going to find the trading post in the Mage Quarter, right across from the Stockade dungeon entrance, right in this little square here. This is going to be the location of the trading post for the Alliance. So the trading post is this nice little structure over here, and there's going to be a short quest line whenever you get in. It's going to introduce you to the trading post and see what it does here. Now, the trading post itself has a ton of different things. You can see there's a bunch of mounts on it for sale. There's a transmogrifier. There's some people over here who are showing off some items you can buy. This guy has the corsage, he's not wearing it, and this guy has a little cloak. And then there's this chest. Now I cannot interact with the chest right now because of it being disabled on PTR. I can no longer see what's in the trading post, but you get these currency called Trader's Tender, and Trader's Tender is going to be how you purchase these things from the trading post. Now, every month you're going to log in and this chest will be lighted up and you'll get 500 from there. And the other way to get Trader's Tender is going to be the new Traveler's Log, which is essentially a battle pass. Now, the Traveler's Log, you can see here, gives you travel points, and when you hit 1,000, you gain a new mount, Ashadar, Harbinger of Dawn, as well as some Trader's current Tender. And you can see we get Trader's Tender along the track as well. So this is a total of 500 Trader's Tender. And every month this rotates, which means that every month you have 1,000 Trader's Tender to use in the trading post. Now, to fill up your travel log, there's a ton of stuff you can do. You can see here defeating raid bosses, completing dungeons, quests, optional storylines. There's stuff for Dragonflight, killing raid bosses, gathering quests, sieges in Dragonflight Keep, a ton of different stuff there. Dungeons and raids, you can do raid bosses. This is Old World and New World. You can do Mythic Dungeons, killing Dragonflight raid bosses. You can do the Valentine's Day quests. There's holiday events. There's stuff for pet battles even, professions, PvP, world questing and questing, just special one-time things. So there is really something for everything in the Traveler's Log, whether you do PvP, whether you do raid, whether you do M+, whether you don't do any of that, you're just a world quest gamer, whether you do crafting only, whether you just mount farm. There is stuff for everybody in the Traveler's Log, and it should be pretty easy to fill up and get yourself Ashadar, Harbinger of Dawn. Anyways, once you have your 1,000 currency, you can go over to the trading post, talking to either of these guys. They do the same thing. And you can see here we have the full menu for the trading post. Now, you can see here that these things rotate. You do have the option to freeze one item, taking it from here and locking it and allowing it to stay around for one more month. Now, this is the options available to us on the PTR. See here, we have the Celestial Steed mount, the Fury of the Firelord weapon transmog, a pet, and there's some ensembles, I don't know, Shattered Voidspire weapon, some bandoliers, a dagger, a longbow, a warhammer, a corsage, some threads, a little cloak there, boutique, a cloak. So really there is a ton of things you can get here. There's been a ton of other stuff, data mine, to different colored mounts, to the bows, different weapons. A big spoon is a big one for people. So there really is something for everyone. You could filter it if you want as well. The freezing thing will allow you to keep stuff around for another month if you cannot purchase it right now. And you get 1,000 per month, plus a little bit extra at the start, which should allow you to kind of purchase what you want and get all the cool items here. I think I bought the Celestial Steed and the War Cloak on PTR. And you can see here that they have a ton of this stuff out front, like I mentioned. Here's the Voidspire or whatever. There's the Rosy Corsage and the cloak here. There's some of the mounts you can get here. Ashadar Harbinger of Dawn is one of them. There's also a yellow tint to this, and then of course the Celestial Steed here. This is going to incentivize you to play every month, log in, get your monthly chest, do some of the stuff in your Traveler's Log, and work towards the mount or other option at the end of the Traveler Log to get that big reward. And then of course earn yourself some of those Traveler's Tender to really buy yourself some of the cool customizable transmog options or some of the cosmetics you can get from this thing. At the time being, there is no form of player power from this. There's no form of buying things to further you along. So for right now, I think the system's great. Also, if you hang out here, a ton of different characters come by and will interact with stuff. You can see that the Gob Squad's here actually talking to the traders and stuff. So there's a ton of fun things with the traders post. Really, really cool system. Should keep people engaged month after month, even in between patch cycles. But I really, really like it. The other major piece of content is going to be the Storm's Fury event in the Primalist Future. So for those who don't know, to get to the Primalist Future, you come down to the Temporal Conflux and you enter this little portal here. Once in the Primalist Future on the PTR, or sorry, in 10.0.5, there's going to be an event. It's on a 10-hour rotation, so it's up for 4 hours and despawns for 6 hours afterwards. It is currently not up. Called the Storm's Fury, which summons a boss and 4 portals around the Primalist Future. Each one's marked by a little map. When you are going to these portals, they're going to be spawning Primalist mobs in a wave every 30 seconds to a minute, and you have to defend the portals against these mobs, and you're going to capture them, sort of like a battleground, such as Wintergrass or whatever. Once the portal is fully controlled by you, by the defending forces, it is disabled. However, if you leave it unattended, it can be recaptured by the Primalists. Once you deactivate all 4 portals, the shield around the boss's HP is going to drop, and he is going to be able to be fought. On PTR testing, there was 1 Earth boss. We don't know if there's more. I'm assuming there's a boss for every single element, but who knows? The other thing in the Primalist Future is a new mechanic called Freezing, which is a stacking damage debuff. You gain a new stack every 5 seconds if unattended. You counter this through the debuff through Warmth, which you can stack up to 25 stacks of every 2 seconds. If you have a stack of Warmth, 1 application of Freezing will instead remove Warmth instead of stacking up. So if you have 25 stacks of Warmth, you'll gain a stack of Freezing, which would thus remove a stack of Warmth and get rid of the stack of Freezing. If you have everything in a heat source, it'll immediately move all stacks of Freezing. So there's little heat sources. In this area I'm in right now is a heat source, and there's other things that can summon it, such as defending against a portal or using deployable field heat sources, which you can buy from gold in this area, as well as items you can get from the rewards that can drop heat sources. This is going to be very important for dealing with things in this area, controlling your heat stacks, controlling your warmth stacks, and making sure that you are not freezing to death in the Primalist Future. The Storm's Fury drops 2 currencies, Elemental Overflow, which we have right now from Primal Storms, and Essence of the Storm, which is a brand new currency. Killing mobs during the Storm's Fury event has a chance to drop Coalesce Storm Remnants, which is a weekly quest that gives you 10 Essences of the Storm. The final boss gives you around 6 Essence of the Storm, and the weekly world quest, which shows up on your map in the overworld, drops Glowing Primalist Catch, which contains around 9 Essence of the Storm, some Storm Sigils, gold, supplies, and some Primalist gear. For rewards from this event, there are a ton of things that are purchasable from Bren Dormy in the Primalist Future. You can buy Chronologically Unstable Loop, which is a ring that allows you to remove freezing. You can buy his Bronze Band of Destinies, another ring that allows you to remove freezing. Heath of Primal Winter, a neck that does the same. And then Sands of Temporal Perfection, which is a trinket. The equip grants spells and knows a chance to create a temporal pocket. Standing within it grants you haste and movement speed. From there, you can also get caches that give you Storm Sigils and a few other stuff. Chasing Storm, which is a toy. Time Lost Vorkenful, a pet. And then Skyskin Hornstrider. So this is the pet, and this is the mount. So overall, there's a ton of stuff you can get from this, mostly cosmetic. If you're doing endgame stuff, none of this loot will really matter to you. So it's all about getting the cosmetics from the event. Also coming in patch 10.0.5 is a ton of gray and white transmog, allowing gray and white items to be transmogged, including all of this stuff. This is just a ton, as well as all of these starter gear, like all of this junk, and everything is now purchasable by vendors in Orgrimmar or Stormwind. So there's a lot of stuff here for transmog people. Finally, patch 10.0.5 brings with it a ton of balance changes and changes to classes, including druids, big reworks to feral, as well as all their class trees. Restorations get changes, balance gets changes, guardian gets changes. Evokers are getting some changes. Survival hunters getting some buffs and changes. All of the monk specs are getting some changes, including some big brew buffs. Some paladin changes, priest changes. Really, there's everything. Warlock changes, warrior changes. There's a lot of changes coming in 10.0.5. Too much for me to really cover in depth here. But if you want to check that out, Wowhead has a ton of the data mine changes, and I'm sure individual class writers as well. There's nothing for Demon Hunter though, so that's that. That's a quick recap of all of the changes coming in patch 10.0.5. There's so many things happening in the next update. I'm excited they're sticking to this really short cadence, and I'm excited for, honestly, I'm really excited for the new trading post. I think it's going to be really cool. But if there's anything, any comments or questions about the content I posted here, leave a comment down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you appreciated the video or really liked it, consider hitting the subscribe button. It would really help me out. With that though, enjoy the 10.0.5 update coming next week. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.